Imagine a future that is not waiting for us to reach it, but one that has already occurred, sealed in some unknown dimension. The idea that the future has already happened challenges our most fundamental beliefs about time and reality. In this video, we will explore theories that call into question our perception of linear time and consider the possibility of an already existing timeline or pre-fulfilled events. We will address ideas from physical and philosophical theories to paradoxes that reveal the limits of our current understanding. With this hypothesis, we can open doors to deeper questions. How would our lives and decisions change if we knew that the future is not something to build, but rather a fixed experience? To understand this unsettling assertion, we must begin with the concept of time as we know it. We live in a society that experiences time as a linear progression, moving in only one direction. From birth to old age, time seems to flow in an unbreakable chain of connected moments. We are born, we grow, we age, and we die. However, this conception of time as a straight, continuous line is limited and may even be illusory. Einstein's theory of relativity introduces a more flexible and complex idea. Time is not an isolated entity, but a dimension intertwined with space, forming a structure called space-time. In this model, time is a kind of landscape encompassing both past and future, with all moments coexisting in a fixed structure. This leads to a radical interpretation. If all moments are written into the fabric of the universe, the future would already exist as tangibly as the present. Instead of a reality we create step by step, the future would be a territory simply not yet perceived. We would be moving through time as one walks down a pre-drawn path. Thus, what we call future would already exist in a pre-established structure, waiting for us to reach it. This raises a fundamental question. If the future is already determined, what does that mean for our decisions? Are we merely actors in a script already written? And if so, what role does our consciousness play? At this point, the concept of freedom becomes hazy. We would not be creating the future, but moving toward an already written part of our story. In a universe where the future has already occurred, the unsettling question arises: are we free, or are we merely following a predestined path? The time paradox invites us to reflect on this dilemma. If time is like a completed film that already exists, and we are merely following a sequence of scenes, then everything, from our decisions to our most private thoughts, has already been determined in a block of space-time. This conception is challenging, as it touches one of the pillars of our perception: free will. Do we have true freedom of choice, or do we only feel as if we decide? The time paradox deepens if we consider the possibility of traveling to the already existing future, or even trying to alter it. Time travel theories, such as the grandfather paradox, illustrate how each attempt to change the past or future seems impossible without producing devastating contradictions in reality. Moreover, this paradox forces us to reconsider the meaning of our decisions. In a world where the future has already happened, our choices lose their creative sense. Instead of creating a new destiny, we could be acting as mere pieces in a cosmic game, limited to playing a predetermined role. This thought raises unsettling questions. If everything is already defined, what is the point of regret and hope? The time paradox confronts us with the possibility that everything, even the present moment, is predestined in an unalterable sequence. If you're enjoying the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to join the family of universe. Here, we enter an area of great complexity. Some theories suggest that time, and with it the future, does not exist independently of our consciousness. According to this approach, time may not be an objective property of the universe, but a construction created by the human brain to make sense of its experience of change and sequence of events. If time is merely a way of organizing events, does that mean the future does not exist until we perceive it? The observer paradox is a deeply studied concept in quantum physics. In this field, The theory of wave function collapse posits that particles exist in multiple simultaneous states until they are observed. This idea suggests that, in a sense, the universe requires a conscious observer to decide on a reality. So, could it be that the future only materializes when we approach and observe it? This idea is radical. Time would not be a fixed entity, but a reflection of the relationship between the observer and the universe. This approach raises essential questions about human perception and its role in constructing reality. If the future only exists when we observe it, perhaps we are continually creating the future, not as a chain of immovable events, but as a constant construction. This challenges the notion that time is a pre-written block and suggests that the future depends on conscious experience. While the linear view of time predominates in modern science, many ancient cultures conceived of time as an endless cycle of events that repeat eternally. In a cyclical conception of time, the same events would happen over and over again, repeating in an endless loop. In this context, human history would be just one phase of a larger cycle that repeats. If time is cyclical, then not only does the past influence the future, but the future could influence the past in an eternal feedback loop. In this framework, the question, what if the future has already happened, takes on a new meaning. Perhaps our lives are not unique, but part of a larger cycle that repeats infinitely. The ancient Greeks, for example, believed in the idea of eternity as a circle, and cultures like the Maya or Hindu also held a cyclical view of time, suggesting that universal events are destined to repeat over and over. This type of interpretation brings with it a striking philosophical charge. If we are in an infinite cycle, can we really change anything? Every action would seem futile if we know it will inevitably be repeated. But at the same time, the cyclical perspective also invites us to value each present moment, since even though it repeats, each moment is unique in its individual perception. Life would not be seen as a race toward an open future, but as a reflection of an eternal cycle in which each moment contains the essence of the entire universe. The block universe theory is one of the most serious and studied interpretations of modern physics regarding time. This theory posits that the universe, from its beginning to its end, already exists as a complete, fixed, and predictable structure. Every moment of our lives, from birth to death, is already written in space-time. From our human perspective, we experience time as a linear progression, but in the block universe framework, everything exists simultaneously. This model finds its foundation in the theory of relativity, which posits that time is relative and not absolute. Scientists have confirmed that time can dilate or contract depending on factors such as speed and gravity, suggesting that our perception of time is only one of many possible ones. The block universe concept takes this relativity to the extreme. Each moment is fixed and real in the same sense as space. Thus, what we call future exists in a concrete sense, and we simply have not yet reached that point in the block. For the human observer, this concept is overwhelming. We face the possibility that time is merely an illusion generated by our consciousness as we move along space-time. If the universe is a fixed block, our perception of a developing life and an open future is just that, a perception. We are moving through a pre-established universe, where each possibility is already defined. The question remains, is the experience of change and evolution merely an illusion of our mind? If everything in time is already written, we face a fatalistic view of life, where regret, hope, and free will are mere illusions. In this framework, we could see ourselves as actors in an immutable cosmic story, where our decisions are not our own, but an inevitable part of the universe's script. This possibility poses an existential crisis. If the future is already sealed, what is the meaning of our existence? This vision has deep philosophical implications. Since ancient Greece, thinkers like Parmenides have argued that change is an illusion. In the modern context, philosophers like Nietzsche explored similar ideas in his theory of eternal return. The idea that time is cyclical and that everything in life repeats endlessly. In a world where everything is already written, our actions may seem less significant, And even our emotions, love, fear, sadness, may appear to be mere reactions in an infinite sequence. However, this perspective can also inspire a sense of wonder at the complexity of the universe and the richness of the present moment. Although the future is predestined, each moment could be seen as an opportunity to explore the depth of the present and our connection to the universe as a whole. In this sense, the knowledge that the future has already happened does not deny the value of experience, but transforms it into a part of something much larger and incomprehensible. The possibility that the future has already happened confronts us with the fragility of our most fundamental beliefs about time and purpose. In this context, time would not be a resource to optimize or a path toward future achievements, but an immense mystery that surpasses our understanding. If the future is already sealed, freedom might be nothing more than a necessary illusion for our conscious lives. If you've made it this far and haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? On Universe, you'll find even more quality content, and we'll be thrilled to have you here. Leave a comment with your thoughts on the topic and a like on the video. See you next time.